we start. And my name is Gabriel Josiah. Let me briefly introduce myself. I'm a chartered accountant. I studied accounting in the Ahmadu Bello University. I have the second degree in Masters in Business Admin, and my third degree, Masters in Treasury Management, like you can see on the screen. And I'm a qualified chartered accountant. Currently I work as an internal auditor in the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority. So I've been tutoring case studies since 2021, and with over 5-year experience, leveraging my experience as internal auditor, and also a tutor, a physical class here in Kano, and also online helping students pass the case study paper. And also I tutor AAA, as advanced audit and assurance at the professional level. So that's me in brief, and I believe we're going to have a good time learning case study, going through the study text, having mock exams, and getting prepared for the May 2025 diet. I believe once we are able to follow through, we'll be able to sail through this paper very, very seamlessly. Okay, having had that very short introduction, let me introduce the table of contents, or the chapters, the modules that we'll be looking at. So chapter 1 is the introduction to the ICAN case study text, the case study material. So that's what chapter 1 is all about. And we'll be looking at the chapter 1 as it serves as a foundation for the case study exams. It introduces the objectives, the format, and the expectation of the exams. It also emphasizes the importance of understanding how to approach the case study, which requires you to integrate various elements of accounting, management, and business strategy. So this chapter sets the stage for understanding the key concepts and level of competency expected from candidates. This is very, very important. Okay, so chapter 2, the financial statement analysis, is quite detailed, very detailed and bulky, because mostly requirement 1 of the exams is about financial statements analysis. So chapter 2 and chapter 3 are quite voluminous in terms of volume and also value. So in chapter 2, we'll be looking at, or we'll be learning how to perform comprehensive financial statement analysis, which involves analyzing key financial documents such as the statement of financial position, which is our traditional balance sheet, the statement of comprehensive income, which is our income statement, the statement of changes in equity, and also the cash flow statements, and also to evaluate a company's financial health. And key skills include calculating and interpreting financial ratios, assessing profitability, liquidity, solvency, efficiency, and investment. So this analysis is crucial for analyzing business strengths, weakness, and areas for improvement, which you will need for the case study exams. Very important. Then we'll be looking at chapter 3 that has to do with financial data analysis. Financial data analysis builds on financial statement analysis, but focus on the analysis of financial data in more depth. It teaches how to, or we'll be learning how to gather, interpret, and use financial data to inform business decisions. You will learn about different types of financial data, methods of forecasting, budgeting, and other techniques for data presentation. In the case study exam, you find, or you need to evaluate financial data to provide strategic recommendations, making this an essential skill. This is very important. And chapter 4 will be looking at business reorganization and capital reconstruction. Very key topic also. The topic covers key areas like analyzing a business in distress or undergoing significant changes. So we'll be focusing on strategies for improving a company's capital structure, such as restructuring debt, issuing new capital, which is shareholders' funds, or reorganizing operations. So in the case study exams, understanding this process will help you provide relevant recommendations for businesses facing financial challenges or in need of restructuring. This is key. Okay, so chapter 5, we'll be looking at business analysis. Business analysis. We will explore the broader scope of business analysis involving a comprehensive overview of the business environment, which includes market trends, competition, industry factors. We also learn how to conduct a SWOT analysis. SWOT, the strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats analysis. And we also apply business strategy frameworks. So the ability to assess business operations holistically is critical for providing insightful analysis and solutions in the case study exams. This is very important. Okay, so module 6, we'll be looking at strategic and performance management tools. Strategic and performance management tools. So this module or this chapter focuses on tools that help in evaluating and improving business performance. So topics or units like key performance indicators, balance scorecards, strategic models, models such as SWOT, PESTLE, Porter 5 forces, ANSOF matrix, BCG matrix, and many more. So you will learn and we'll be providing teachings on how to apply these tools to analyze and improve business strategies. And also understand these models for providing recommendations on improving business performance in the case study exams. How do you use this model to answer questions and also apply them very, very practically? So that's chapter 6, strategic and performance management tools. Okay, so chapter 7, we'll be looking at ethics and the professional accountant. Ethics and the professional accountant. So this chapter or this module will be considering ethical issues which are central or a central role for professional chartered accountants. This module highlights the importance of ethics, and we'll be looking at it very, very graphically. The importance of ethics in accounting practice, focusing on topics like professional integrity, objectivity, confidentiality, and due care. You will also be learning about ethical dilemmas and how to navigate them in the business space. So, in the case study context or the case study exams, candidates will be required to demonstrate ethical decision-making and integrity in the analysis and recommendations. So that's what we're looking at in chapter 7. And chapter 8, writing a professional report, which is the crux of the matter. The case study exams is about writing a professional report, which is the main or the cocoa of the exams. So in the case study exams, writing a clear, structured, and professional report is essential. So I'll be teaching you in this chapter how to effectively communicate your analysis, your thoughts, and recommendations in written form. You will learn the key components of a report, including executive summary, which is 20% of the marks of the exam, and it's very important. If you don't include an executive summary, if you score 80% in the other parts of the exam, you're going to fail the exams. So 20% of the marks goes to executive summary, which is a must. You must write. So a lot of people fail the case study exam, not because maybe their calculations are wrong or their analysis and body of report is incorrect, but failing to craft a comprehensive executive summary automatically is failing their case study exams. It's clear. So clear argumentation, data presentation, and actionable recommendations are essential in this chapter. You'll also be learning how to develop strong report writing skills, which is vital to succeeding in the case study exam. So the exam is not about number crunching. Number crunching earns you very little marks in the case study. So the report takes over 80% of the marks. Crunching numbers earns you less than 8%, 10% of the marks. So please take note of that. Writing a professional report, this chapter or this module is very essential. Okay, so we'll be looking at chapter 9, the assessment procedure. And we'll be asking, how are you assessed? So this chapter will explain the assessment procedure for the case study exams. We'll also provide insight into how the exam is marked, the key criteria to use to evaluate your performance. Because if you understand the marking scheme, it helps you to tailor your answers to meet the examiner's expectation. So in this chapter, we'll offer tips for preparing effectively for the exam, maximizing your marks through strategic responses and clear, structured writing. This is very important. Okay, so chapter 10, we'll be looking at technology tools for businesses. This involves, in today's world, you understand that technology plays a significant role. So in this module or this chapter, we'll introduce technology tools that are used in business for analysis, for reporting and decision making. You will learn about software tools used for financial analysis, business modeling, and data management. Because understanding these tools is important for integrating technology into your case study analysis and making your recommendations more effective and data-driven. Okay, so for, chapter 11, which is the final chapter, soft skills for accountants. We'll be looking at this, soft skills for accountants. So in addition to technical accounting skills, soft skills such as communication, teamwork, leadership are very essential for success in the workplace and during the case study exams. So we'll be looking at in this chapter and focusing on how accountants can develop and apply these soft skills to enhance their professional effectiveness. Good communication, both written and verbal, is especially important when presenting your analysis and recommendations in the case study exams. Okay, so that's 11 chapters we'll be looking at. Don't forget, these chapters provide a comprehensive guide to preparing for the case study or the ICAN case study exams, covering both technical and professional aspects of the exam. So by mastering this content or this module of each chapter, students will, you people will be well equipped to analyze complex business cases, write clear reports, and present well-reasoned, actionable recommendations, which will help you ace the exams with ease. Okay, so let's introduce the units in this chapter 1 we'll be looking at today. So what is the purpose of the ICAN case study? What is the purpose? So briefly, the purpose of the ICAN case study is to assess your ability to apply knowledge and skills gained from the entire professional syllabus, coming from corporate reporting, AAA, SFM, ATAX, and integrate this knowledge with a business scenario. So the case study exam simulates real business situations, focusing on how you analyze and make decisions based on financial data, financial statements within an organizational context, and strategic considerations. So the purpose is to test your ability to use judgment, solve problems, and propose actionable recommendations. So that's the essential purpose of the ICAN case study. It's a very interesting paper, and I love it among the 5 papers. Okay, so the second unit will be looking at the ICAN case study. The ICAN Case Study is a practical exam designed to evaluate your competency in accounting and financial management generally. It involves analyzing a case or business scenario that requires you to apply theoretical knowledge in a practical setting. So you'll be asked to analyze financial statements, assess business operations, make recommendations from your conclusions based on your findings. This is an essential part of the qualification for chartered accountants with ICAN. It demonstrates the ability to apply accounting principles in real-world scenarios. So that's exactly what this second unit will be talking about today. Okay, so Unit 3, we'll be looking at the case study exams. The case study exams proper. Now, the case study exam is the final assessment for ICAN students, or it's the last paper. It's recommended that you do it last, but then most people, though it's not a hard and fast rule, but then it's recommended that after you've taken CR, SFM, ATAX, AAA, then you do case study. But if you can pass it before the others, it's fine. So it's supposed to be the final assessment because you integrate and leverage all the knowledge you have from those 4 papers. And the exam is structured to test both your technical proficiency in accounting and your ability to think critically and strategically about business operations. The exam also includes a case that is comprehensive, multifaceted business scenarios, and it requires you to answer questions that test your skills in financial statement analysis, financial data analysis, strategic financial management, ethics, professional judgment. So the exam is designed to ensure that you integrate the various areas of the other 4 papers and accounting generally and apply them in practice. So take note of that, and we'll be discussing that extensively. Then finally, the unit we'll be looking at is preparing for the case study exams. Preparing for the case study exams requires thorough understanding and practice of various areas of accounting and business management. So key preparation strategies include studying the syllabus like you are doing right now, ensure a deep understanding of the study text in this session we are taking, that includes all the topics we've mentioned earlier and the previous papers you've written: financial reporting, performance management, advanced taxation, and other papers. Then you should understand the case study format. Familiarize yourself with the format through practice, through mock exams, including how to analyze financial statements and extract the key factors for decision making. This is very important. So you also understand how to manage your time. Time management is key in the case study exam. So in preparing, you should be able to practice and manage your time effectively. So practicing Pathfinder questions, past questions under time conditions will help you improve efficiency and focus during the exam. Also, practical application is another way to prepare. Engage practical exercises, as we'll be doing every month. We'll be providing mock exams. You write and submit back. I'll provide a question, you analyze it, write the report, and submit back to me. I'll mark. It's the only way to pass the exams at first attempt, because I'll provide feedback to tell you these are the areas you need to improve, and these are the areas you didn't do well. This is where you did well. This is where to harness. And we'll be using past questions. There are 21 editions already of the past questions. We'll be looking at some of them each at the end of the month. We'll be looking at each mock, or maybe we'll be taking them one per week. After lectures, we'll take one mock, depending on how convenient it is for us, because this will help you develop critical thinking and strengthen problem solving and preparation for the exams. Is very essential. Okay, so the use of appendix and ratios will be emphasized during the mocks and as we go on with the topics. And also communication, it's very essential. You're communicating your thoughts, presenting your findings in clear, logical, and professional manner is crucial for passing case study and also for real life work, understanding and analyzing scenarios. So this preparation is very essential, and it will help us understand how to or equip ourselves with right analytical and reporting skills, and also have confidence to tackle the case study exams. This is very important. Okay, so that's the fourth unit to be looking at. And the purpose of the case study exams is to help you at the end of this chapter. After we've looked at chapter 1 today, you should be able to understand the purpose of the case study exams, which includes your ability to integrate and apply knowledge from the entire ICAN syllabus in practical business scenarios. So the case study is designed to test your ability to analyze real-world business scenarios like we've spoken about earlier. Okay, so you understand also the differences between the case study and other subjects of the ICAN professional exam. So like I stated earlier, the case study is different from CR, ATAX, SFM, and AAA because it emphasizes professional skills like communication, writing a report, which is less prominent in other technical exams. Okay, so you should be able to, after this class, understand how to deal with the case study materials in the exams. So the case study materials are called exhibits, financial statements, a business context, and other information which is crucial to approach the material systematically. You identify key issues, analyze data, answer questions or requirements, and you will need to effectively synthesize this information provided, focus on the key areas, and organize your response in form of conclusions and recommendations, like I stated, in a logical manner. Okay, so and finally, understanding the requirements for succeeding in the case study exams, and also understand how to prepare for the case study exams. So the requirements you need to develop, for you to succeed, you need to develop strong analytical skills, prepare clear and concise reports, understand business strategy and decision making. Also practice under exam conditions like we'll be doing in the mock exams to reduce tension, and how to ace the exams easily on the day of the exams. And finally, we'll look at understanding the preparation, like studying the syllabus, practice, mock. We've talked about that extensively. So these structured exams, the skills required, and the effective strategies for preparation is what we'll be looking at in this introduction. Okay, so we've spoken about the purpose, the chapters. Okay, let's go quickly into the topic for the day, chapter 1, and we're looking at the section of the introduction. Now, as chartered accountants, we are finance or financial and business advisors. So our selling point, which is different from other professionals like lawyers, doctors, and other field staff, is that we are expected to display a knowledge and skill in interpreting financial and non-financial data, interpret it and also communicate issues to our clients and employers. So for accountants that are in practice, those that are in audit firms, and accountants that are in business, those that work outside audit firms or in non-audit firms, you will encounter issues with your clients or with your employer that you will need to interpret. So the key skill of a chartered accountant is to interpret financial and non-financial data and provide solution and advice for your client to be able to make decision. So that's a key selling point of chartered accountants. Now, this professional skill of interpreting and understanding financial statements combines, gives us confidence, or gives our clients confidence that with our understanding of this financial statement, we'll be able to provide notable deliberation for them to make decisions. And that's a key attribute of an ICAN member. So our clients, our employers look up to us with these professional skills to understand and interpret financial data, for them to use it for business decisions and understanding how to grow their business is key. So during the preparation for other subjects, like we've spoken about the 4 professional papers, even those in skills, candidates will have received thorough grounding of the concepts and principles. So we're not looking at concepts and principles here. We're looking at application here. Our preparation, interpretation, and use of financial and business information will come to bear in this paper. So through the various stages of the assessment, candidates' technical knowledge will have been assessed. Complex business scenarios, technical issues will be presented in the case study for you to solve. And they call them exhibits, which we'll be looking at subsequently. So the aim of the case study paper is to test your ability to provide advice in the context of complex business scenarios, like we stated earlier, and you help with a report. A comprehensive report should be written, and that's the essential aim of the case study. Okay, so the objective is to assess a candidate's understanding of interrelated business issues. So you analyze data, financial, and those that are non-financial, talking about the IFRS, the structured framework we use to prepare financial statements. You also exercise your judgment and develop conclusions and recommendations. So based on this structure or the objective, marks will be awarded for clear demonstration of these professional skills. Please take note of that. Marks are only awarded based on the demonstration of these skills. The skills of providing conclusions, which I say most of the time is the statement of the problem. After your analysis, the recommendation is the solution to the problem. This is key. And marks will be awarded based on this demonstration of these skills. Okay, so each case study is based on real-life scenarios, like we said earlier in the introduction, and it centers on a request. So you are asking the requirement to provide advice or assistance from either your client or your boss or your employer. So the examination requirements involve evaluation and a practical discussion on current commercial issues or what you have been presented with. So you must be able to identify these key issues relevant to the case. You must understand and deal with the requirements in the case. When you deal with the requirements, you now produce a report. This is key. Now, the examination requirements will involve evaluation, practical discussions on commercial issues. So you must be able to identify the key issues. There are a lot of data, like the exhibits, the pages may be up to, let's say 15 pages, the pre-seen and the unseen. So you must understand and deal with the requirements of the case in your report and the relevant facts. Not everything in the exhibit is needed for a report. So the key part or the key issues relevant to the case is what you pick. I will be looking at that in detail. So success in the case study exams, you will need to bring to bear some of these skills I will be listing. Number one, identification of business, technical and ethical issues. So business issues are looking at the external and internal environment. Then technicalities have to do with the financial statements, presentation, recognition criteria, and others. And ethical issues have to do with the do's, the bads, contravention of laws, and infringement of a lot of issues or rights in the case. So you need, as a candidate, you need to identify this, and then the application of technical knowledge to these identified issues in the case scenario. So once you identify them, you apply technical knowledge to be able to bring these issues out, then understand the business situation. That is, talking about the life cycle of the business. Is the business a startup? Is it just starting? Is it transitioning to growing? Is it maturing? Is it declining? Do you need to kill the company or the product? So understanding the business situation is key when you look at the financial statements. Then what are the generic issues inherent to the business that is bedeviling or the company is facing at that stage or whichever stage of development you've identified the business in. So this is very important. Understanding of the business scenario and the wider issues is another key area we'll be looking at. Wider issues talk about influences from the external environment. Then you also select appropriate tools like we'll be looking at in chapter 6, performance management tools and strategic management tools like models to be able to interpret the business situation and recommend solutions based on these tools for the business. Okay, so the use of relevant data, identification of interrelationships, and the generating new ideas and information is also a key skill you must develop. So the interrelationships between ideas, reports, the exhibits, and the information provided, you should be able to decipher it and take notes when preparing your report. Another key skill is development of relevant and appropriate analysis. The analysis includes analytical, communication, writing, calculation, numerical data crunching, and using these skills or analysis to break down financial and non-financial data provided to you in the case. Now, the application of professional skepticism, inquiring minds, your questioning minds, demonstrate ethical awareness. Something is wrong, the company is not doing something right, contravening laws, and also understanding and evaluating outcomes of the analysis. Provide your clear judgment based on the work as skills you'll be able to develop as we forge ahead. Also, the development of clear conclusions, which are the statement of the problem, like I said, then your reservations. What are your reservations in the case? Reservations, you mean reserved issues that were not stated, and you assume that based on these reservations, you may not be able to come up with concrete and clear conclusions and recommendations. Then the ability to make recommendations based on your analysis and your conclusion. Then also the production of a well-structured and tactical report is the crux of the matter. So you include executive summary, like I stated, which is a must, without which you won't be able to pass the case study exams. The executive summary and appropriate appendices. So the appendices are the foundation that you use to build on those reports. You can't just come up with a report without the appendices. So even though the appendices and the calculations carry very low marks, it must be prepared because that's the basis of which you write the report. Somebody asked me, can you just prepare a report without appendices? I say, no, that's like building a house without foundation. That house cannot stand. So in the case study exams, without appendices, you are assumed to be writing from the blues. The examiner wants to see appendices attached, no matter how low the marks are. Also using suitable language, clear English, not too much grammar, that resonates with the examiner. Communicating your ideas to whoever is reading your report is key, and it will help you be able to pass seamlessly. Okay, I think I'm seeing a hand up. Let me, please unmute your mic, ACA. Yes, yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ACA. Nice to hear you.
Yes, sir. Sir, that appendices, sir, if you make any cancellations in your appendix during the exams, can it affect you?
Well, thank you for that question. So cancellations have to be very, very neat and structured. So when you are canceling, make it very, very neat in the sense that the examiner should not use that against you. So cancellations are allowed. Of course, mistakes are allowed in the exam, but then what you are canceling should be clearly cancelled. And what you are not canceling should be left for the examiner to know this is what you are using. So if you are canceling all your appendix, you are telling the examiner that you don't have a basis for writing the report. So wherever you cancelled, also make sure the ones that are relevant to the case are left uncancelled. Yeah, I hope that addresses your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome, ACA. So please, free to interject. If you have any question, just raise your hand. I will stop and attend to that. Thank you for that beautiful question, ACA. Okay, so let me get back to my thoughts. I said ability to make recommendations based on analysis and also production. Okay, I've spoken to the production of the report. Okay, so this study material, we'll be using it as our basis for understanding the 11 chapters and also leveraging on this to be able to answer mock exams There are 21 editions of the case study from November 2014 all through November 2024. So our first most exams should be next week, and we'll be dealing with November 2024, the last diet. It was quite prepperish. The examiner really went another way, but then some of the students were able to navigate it, and those who were not able to navigate it, I believe in the next diet, they will have the necessary skills and knowledge to meet the next diet. So this study text will help us, and that's practically what you see on the screen. I just transcribed the study text to PowerPoint. So I've shared the material, the soft copy, so you can print it when you are reading. I also have videos based on the units. I broke down the videos on YouTube to help students just easily find the course attractive and comprehensive. So it will not be long like the live classes we have. It's just, I broke them down in units on the YouTube page. If you go to my YouTube page, you'll see it. It's exactly structured based on the study text, just to help you at your leisure time, and you can use your phone or your PC to access these materials. Okay, so let's go to the second section of Unit 1, comparing or comparison between the case study and the other ICAN professional exams. So the case study, for most of the people that are coming for the first time or those that are reattempting it, those that are reattempting will know that there's a difference in structure. So if you are first time attempt, it's a 4-hour exam. So you are expected to produce only one report, unlike the other 4 papers where they give you 7 questions, answer 5. This one is a long exhibit of maybe 14, 15, maybe almost 20 pages. So you have to produce one report. And you have an executive summary, you have to produce an executive summary after your long discussions, a number of sections, about 6 or 8 sections. So I'll be providing the information of that as we look at, or as we forge ahead, and also relevant appendices. So there's a difference in structure. Understand that comparing it to the other paper. There's a difference in structure. The structure is totally different from CR, SFM, AAA, and ATAX. Okay, so even if you are fully prepared, you find out that the 4 hours are insufficient. Of course, if they even give you 8 hours, you can't answer the case study paper. So time management, practicing under exam conditions is key. Like I tell people, it's easy to pass case study with 90, and it's easy to score 5, 4, 3, 11. Why? Because the time is insufficient, and you cannot appear on the day of the exam without practicing and pass case study. It's not possible. So practice is what makes perfect. It's what helps you leverage on the experience you've had in the mock exams to be able to attack the paper with the limited time you have and provide your thoughts in clear terms for the examiner to be impressed. So understand that 4 hours is not sufficient. Yeah, it's not sufficient to express yourself and write your report. But then it's easy to pass. You are not asked to answer, you are asked to attempt. And you are not asked to get 100%. It's 50% that is the pass mark. So in my opinion, it's easy to pass. I also have written the paper, or I wrote the paper in my process of qualification. And at first attempt, I was able to score 78%. So it's easy to pass, in my opinion, if you understand the nuggets. Zig Ziglar, a motivational speaker, said, just any dummy can succeed if he knows what it takes. And I agree with that, his quote. So you can pass the case study, but just understand what it takes. It's very easy. In the last diet, I had some of my students score as high as 70, 75. So it's easy. So just understand and follow these nuggets I'll be teaching you, I'll be showing you. It will help you. So you find out that time management is the challenge, and you need to discipline yourselves to answer the requirements stated in the case, and also present your advice in a succinct way. So don't go beyond what you are asked to write, or write another requirement in your mind. As we'll be looking at the requirement, please, in the case study exam, please, in the mock exams we'll be presenting, please address the requirements very expressly as the examiner asks it, so that you can address what he asks you and get your marks. Very important. Okay, so the difference is also in student preparation. required prior to the examination is different from the preparation of the other 4 papers. So there's difference in preparation in comparing it to the other papers. So before the exams, how do you prepare for the case study exam? So the difference or the distinguishing feature of the case study exam is that it's a real life scenario. So the exhibit is a real life simulation of what you experience in the office. So your expertise in the office, maybe you work in an audit firm, you work as an internal auditor and an external auditor. This expertise and experience will help you and bringing your professional skills from your office and competencies you've acquired also from the other 4 papers you've spoken. This accumulation will really help you in the case study exams if you have it. And if you don't have experience also, understanding some of the exams that have been written, the past questions, and understanding the scenarios will help you respectively. So your skills and competencies cannot be developed in a few weeks. That is why it's good we started early. You're starting now in February, and before your exams in May, you should be able to have garnered a lot of skills to ace the exams. So starting to read for case study around April is very risky, except if you are reattempting it. But even if you are reattempting, you need to be practicing and understand some of the concepts that made you not get the marks to pass the exams in the former sitting. So it's very important we develop these skills early. So as we are looking at the case study text, the concepts and the nitty-gritties, we'll also be practicing questions pari passu these lectures. And we'll be doing that by weekends. So let's ask ourselves, if success is our goal, we must make sure we put in the effort. This is very important. So late preparation is risky for case study. Very important. Very, very important. So you need to have planned and developed your professional skills using a development program throughout your training period. So your office experiences, these teachings, and the mock exams will really help you drastically pass the case study. Okay, so the third difference is differences in the assessment criteria for the case study. What are the differences? Now, the case study is marked by a reference to competency-based key. So you have the top competency-based key, which is superior achievement. I'll be explaining that subsequently. The second one is competent achievement. The next one is below competent achievement. The fourth one is no competent achievement. And the last one is void. So there are 5. I take that again. The first one is superior achievement, competent achievement, below competent achievement, no competent achievement, and void. So you have those 4 keys as your competency-based assessment. I'll be explaining that subsequently as we go ahead. So all marks are awarded for the demonstration of professional skills. So your professional skills based on this competency key I'll be explaining subsequently is how you are awarded your marks in the case study exams. Where you are required to demonstrate technical knowledge, marks will be awarded in the context of how you analyze the problem, develop and present your solutions. So this is key. You analyze the problem which has been presented to you in the requirements. You present your conclusion in form of discussions and also recommend solutions to the problem. And that's different from the other papers in the professional structure or framework. Okay, so a focus on skills. Because of this focus on professional skills, case study does not have a correct or a wrong answer. What do I mean by that? You have calculations and the judgment of the person writing the paper is different. So from what you have calculated based on requirement 1 and 2, your appendices, your report can be different from the person sitting next to you, in front of you, or by the side of you. So the calculations is a small part of the exam, but your judgment, your report, your thoughts, your presentation can be different. Somebody will write something different from another person and he will pass. Why? Because your professional skill is based on your personal judgment and how you interpret the case. So that structure, bringing the structure to bear, understanding how the case study is asked or the questions are asked, and you structure a report in that format will help you to pass seamlessly. This is very, very important. Okay, so let me look for a safe landing so that we can go on a 5 minutes break.